What kind of feeling is it? It's a large, flat apartment-style residence located by the river. It's like having millions of luxury cars to drive whenever you want. It's 50,000 per month as pocket money. Everyone envies me for having such good luck in love. But no one knows.
He almost drained everything I had.
My name is Sun Yi. In my 28th year, I stood in that 200 square meter penthouse by the river, in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, holding a wad of cash I just received in my hands. The thickness is exactly 50,000 units. The riverside view downstairs is brightly lit. The cruise ship moves slowly across the water's surface. Previously, I could only browse this kind of houses over short distances. I couldn't even dream of living here myself. 3 years ago, I was still wearing a V-neck vest as I walked around the gym, helping members choose equipment and handing out towels. After working hard for a month, you can barely make 7 or 8,000. Now I'm Wenji's boyfriend. Or rather, it's his accessory. Wenji is 40 years old. The skin is well maintained. The first time I went to the gym, he was dressed in dark blue sportswear. The watch is shiny and gleaming. I handed him the locker key at the door of the locker room. He glanced at me. Her gaze lingered on me for a few seconds. Later, he bought my course. There wasn't really anything inappropriate about it. That is, after finishing the stretching exercises, they'll casually ask how old someone is. Who is this person? How long have they been in this field? I'll answer truthfully. He just smiled. Before leaving, he shoved an envelope into my hand. It's called a tip. The first time, I didn't dare to accept it. He just gave me a glance. Just said, "Take it." It's not easy for young people. But the tone was casual, nonchalant. With this kind of undeniable certainty, the second time was 500. The third time was 1,000. By the fourth time, he directly asked me out for dinner. The place is that Michelin-starred restaurant by the river. I wore my best shirt. He picked food for me. Asked me if I have a girlfriend. I said we've been dating for 6 years. He nodded, saying it's not easy after 6 years, so your conditions aren't bad at all. Have you ever thought about changing your line of work? I understand what he means. I hesitated. My aunt was discussing marriage with me at that time. It seems like the money we've saved is enough for the down payment. Let's go see the house. I saw that gleaming anticipation in his eyes. It feels like someone's grabbed my chest. But Sister Wen gave me a car key. Mercedes GLC. There's also a card that deposits 50,000 yuan regularly every month. When he said these words, leaning against the sofa, fingers idly turned the glass of red wine. It seems like 50,000 yuan isn't much to him. It's no different from 5 yuan. In the end, I still broke up with Xiao Yi. That day, he had just returned from viewing a property with the real estate agent. Still holding 2 cups of milk tea in my hands, said they wanted to celebrate with me. He was changing his shoes at the entrance. I said, "Zhao Yi, let's just give up on each other." He was stunned for a moment. Stood there without moving for half a day. Later, I put the milk tea on the shoe cabinet. Said it very lightly, just that. Why do I say it's because I no longer love you? Her eyes were filled with tears. Just stared at me like that for a long time. That look of hers made my heart race. Then she turned around and walked away. The day I moved into the penthouse, it was Sister Wen who sent someone to pick me up. Just 1 box. She prepared an entire closet full of clothes for me. All are new models with uncut labels. Any single of these items is worth half my monthly salary. She stood at the door of the wardrobe, crossing arms and staring at me. Don't wear those street market clothes anymore. Watching the value drop. The first month was a blur for me, feeling like I'm standing on clouds. That GLC looks really cool driving on the street. Go to the mall and use your card to pay. The clerk's eyes were shining with excitement. Later, I sent money to my family. Built a new house for the family. Got a wife for my younger brother. My mom said on the phone, relieved. My eldest son is really talented. Actually, Sister Wen isn't too bad to me. I always choose the best restaurants to eat at. I'll bring gifts back from business trips. Once, when he wasn't busy, he said he'd take me with him. He likes it the most. Juan's secret base made her laugh like a child. It was a pink house. It's beautifully decorated. There are also many girls coming and going. Wenji said this is BU's safe house. It's a place designed specifically for women. The staff inside are very friendly. The arrangement is also very thoughtful. Every time I come here, I think about bringing something back with me. I'm here this time. We need to pick out something satisfactory to take with us. But I didn't expect that. Every night after that, after closing the door to the room, I only gradually came to understand. What does at 31 is like a wolf, at 40 like a tiger mean? He's incredibly energetic. I showed a slight sign of fatigue. His gaze turned cold. You're so young. No, I said through gritted teeth. Okay. Later, he started buying me all kinds of things. Small bottles of dark-colored liquid. Let me drink it every day. If I don't drink, he frowns at me. That kind of look isn't out of concern. It's more like a checkup. Equipment that was purchased at a high cost in the past. How could it break down so quickly? It's been a little over 3 months, I guess. I'm starting to lose weight. Those muscle lines I developed by working out at the gym before, vanishing piece by piece. My arms have become thinner. The collarbone is protruding. The eye sockets began to sink in. One morning, I was shocked when I looked at myself in the mirror. The face in the mirror was gray. Lips lack color. 2 dark circles under the eyes. It's like I've been beaten up by someone. I tried to do push-ups. Less than 15 were made. Just lay on the ground and gasp for breath. The heart beats loudly. The tonics that Sister Wen bought for me, the entire cabinet is packed full. She had the nanny watch me drink. But it's like pouring water into a bucket that's leaking. No matter what, I can't keep them. I can't fall asleep at all, night after night. Lying on that huge bed that costs over 20,000. Staring at the chandelier on the ceiling, my heart feels empty. I got up, standing on the balcony, enjoying the breeze. Blow wind into the pajamas. It gave me the chills. I stared at the dark surface of the water, lost in thought. If I don't get any points, has Hand already married my aunt by now? Gradually, Sister Wen became dissatisfied with it. Control over my body. It became so harsh that it affected the mind, so that I can be available whenever needed. I was forced to cut off all contact with the outside world. Once, I secretly went to see a friend behind his back. He dropped my phone after he noticed it. Then he intensified his torture of me. After that day was over, I feel like my body no longer belongs to me. During that time, I felt like I'd been completely drained. Sitting on the sofa in the living room during the day, looking out through the floor-to-ceiling window, the river view outside, it's obvious that it took half a day to do. Wenji sometimes comes back early. Look at me like that. He frowned and said, "Why do you seem less and less energetic? I spend so much money to support you. That's all you can show me." I opened my mouth. Can't say anything at all. What really woke me up was that day at Guomao. Wenji, let's go shopping at the mall. She picked out several coats for me to try on. I'm holding the bag in one hand. The other hand held Wenjing's hand. Then, at that corner, I ran into Zhao Yi head-on. A boy stood next to her. The tall and thin little Yi has shorter hair now. There was still that same inner glow on her face. They have no idea what they're talking about. Laughing so hard I could barely stand straight. He froze for a moment when he saw me. The gaze is on me. Move it on to Wenji, who's dressed in all kinds of jewels and treasures. I subconsciously wanted to pull my hand back. Wenji seemed to realize something. Deliberately clenched the hand tighter. Then he asked my dear, "What do you want to eat?" Xiaoyi glanced at me. I took another look at Wenji, who was sitting next to you. There was a moment of surprise in his eyes. Then there's the heartache. In the end, it turns into a state of profound acceptance and peace of mind. He didn't laugh at them. No irony. He didn't say anything at all. Just shook her head lightly like that. Then she walked away, holding the boy's hand. Take a few steps forward. The man lowered his head and said something in her ear. She raised her face and smiled at him. That smile was blindingly bright. I stood in the crowded mall. The shopping bag in my hands is weighing my arm so much it hurts. It felt like someone had slapped the person right in the face. My head's buzzing. After going back that night, I tried to break up with Sister Wen. I said I'm tired. I want to go out and work now. She's sitting in front of the makeup table, applying a face mask. Hearing these words, the movement of my hand paused for a moment. Look at me in the mirror. I still remember that look to this day. There's a hint of mockery beneath the calmness. It seems like I told some really funny joke. She stood up and came over to me. Another 20,000 in cash was taken out of the drawer, placed on the nightstand. He said, Sun Yi, one should be content with what one has. Think about what you used to be like. What are you like now? Can you get back? Don't forget whose everything you have today is. Who gave your parents the big house they live in? He moved a little closer. The voice was lowered, with a hint of coolness. Don't be too greedy in life. These things I've given you, you'll never be able to make that back in your entire life. I'm making you uncomfortable, aren't I? I'll give you a day off this month. Go to Sanya for a few days. I didn't go to Sanya to relax. I didn't go anywhere. Just staying in that large apartment. Eat and sleep every day. I've been sleeping and eating normally, but my weight keeps going down. Hair is falling out in clumps. The drain clogged several times while I was taking a shower. Auntie didn't look very good while trying to clear things out. It was less than 2 months before I gave up again. One morning I got up. After taking 3 steps with my hand on the wall, my vision went black. Thud, he knelt on the ground. Knee hit the wooden floor. The sound is muffled. The aunt was terrified. Called 120 and went to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor said there were no serious organic problems. It's simply extreme fatigue combined with malnutrition. Immunity is completely poor. If this continues like this, both the liver and kidneys are having problems. While I was lying in the hospital bed receiving an 4 drip, Sister Wen came by once, stood by the bed and glanced at me twice. With a calm expression, she said, just rest and recover here. Then she left. When I go back to that large apartment again, found that my things had been packed up. That box I brought with me when I moved in. Left alone in the hallway. He was sitting on the sofa in the living room, crossing my legs while flipping through a magazine. Without even looking up, he said to leave the keys behind. You can go now. I stood at the door, frozen for 2 seconds. The clothes is in that box. It's still the same outfit I wore on my first day here. He continued to flip through the magazine in his hands. She said indifferently, it cost me so much money. Can't even maintain a basic appearance. When the waist door closed behind me, I heard him make a phone call. The tone is very casual. Say something like, let's find another one instead. Younger ones. I stood in the elevator dragging my suitcase with me, looking at my reflection on the mirrored wall. The thin cheekbones stood out prominently, deeply sunken eye sockets. The t-shirt on my body is completely empty. There's nothing on it at all. Later, I went back to my hometown. My mom was shocked to see me. Asked me if I've contracted some serious illness. I said no. It's just that the work is too exhausting. He secretly wiped away his tears while making soup for me in the kitchen. I'm sitting on the sofa in the living room, looking at the sweater he'd half finished knitting for me, leaning against the back of the chair. The needle is still stuck in it. I still don't dare to fall in love again. It's because I'm afraid of seeing young couples holding hands on the street. I just remember that day in the mall. Jia Yi leaned on her boyfriend's shoulder. That smile that's completely genuine. acting like a normal person should. And me? I pushed away a girl who had been with me for 6 years, changed to designer clothes and a new car. In the end, not even a trace of oneself was left. Sometimes I can't sleep in the middle of the night. I keep thinking about it over and over again. If I hadn't let go of Xiao Yi's hand back then. Have we already moved in? That neighborhood with great landscaping.
He brought back 2 cups of milk tea when he got off work.
I'm cooking in the kitchen. The range hood is buzzing. The days are extremely tight, pressing, but down to earth. But what's there to try in the first place? All shortcuts seem glamorous on the surface. Actually, the price had already been secretly agreed upon long ago.
And I
also paid the price that I had to for taking this shortcut. Later, I heard some friends mention Sister Wen. She had a younger boyfriend as well. Gave him a bigger house, more expensive cars. But I'm not jealous at all. Because he'll be the next me. I've opened a tea restaurant in my hometown now. Don't make much money. It's enough to cover my daily meals on time. Go to bed on time. Occasionally, I go for a run by the river at night. My mom said I look much better. She looked happy. They tried to set me up with a girlfriend. I refused them all. I've thought about it. I probably won't get married again in my lifetime. Being alone is fine. It's just that river. I always go around it. Seeing the lights of those cruise ships flickering on the water's surface. I just think of the balcony on that large apartment. Thinking of the river at 3 a.m., the cold wind seeping into the cracks of the bones. Remembering that frivolous remark about being useless. In order to become a regular employee, I slept with my boss who's 20 years older than me. I thought I'd get a regular employee ID card. Then everything will be over. Until he truly left home with nothing. Come marry me with your divorce certificate in hand. I just realized that things had already gotten out of control. Never in my mind. Years later, this past that I had desperately tried to hide still came knocking on my door. My name is Jing Jing. Graduated from a fairly ordinary second-tier university at the age of 23. My family is quite ordinary. After graduating from university, by some strange coincidence, I joined a large pharmaceutical equipment company, working as a management trainee. Base salary, $6,000, $10,000 after becoming a full-time employee. Pay for the 5 social insurances and 1 housing fund at the maximum rates. There are also quarterly bonuses and additional medical coverage. For someone who just graduated, that's not even work at all. It's something that can take me out of my ordinary life. The boat tickets that were fished out. On the first day of working at the company, I knew I was screwed from the start. There are a total of 6 interns in this period. In the end, only 2 remain. The other few aren't graduate students from prestigious universities. It means having received a national scholarship. There was also one during college. I've only completed 2 full projects so far. When introducing myself, they discussed industry reports and competitor analyses in the data modeling field. It's like talking about home-cooked dishes one is familiar with. It's my turn. I only said a few words, but my palms were sweating with nervousness. My direct supervisor is Sun Jiguo, 45-year-old deputy director of marketing operations. He's not very tall, slightly plump, with hair always neatly combed. Speaking slowly and smiling, there are deep wrinkles at the corners of the eyes. With people at the company, those leaders who constantly slap the table on the table are different. He has a very good temper. He's also been very patient with us interns. Who did something wrong? He won't curse in public. Just brings the person aside and says it's okay. It's normal for young people to make mistakes for the first time. Just remember it next time. He has always worn a wedding ring on his left ring finger. In the upper right corner of the desk, there's a family photo. In the photo, his wife is wearing a light-colored dress. The daughter has her hair tied in a ponytail. 3 people stood by the sea. It was the first time I had improper thoughts. It was in the 2nd week after starting work. That day, the department held a post-mortem meeting. There's an error in the market data I've prepared. I'm too nervous to say a word. After the meeting ended, I hid in the bathroom, looking at myself in the mirror. Suddenly realized it all very clearly. Relying solely on ability, I probably won't be able to stay. That night, I worked overtime until 9 o'clock. Sun Jiguo came out of the office. Seeing that I'm still working on modifying the spreadsheet, just stop and ask those who haven't left yet. I said something went wrong during the day. Want to check again? He stood behind me for a while, bent down to help me correct 2 formulas. Close in distance, I could smell a faint scent of smoke and mint on him. He was very patient when teaching me. Tell me over and over again where mistakes are likely to be made. I looked up at him. Deliberately mentioned, son, do you never make any mistakes no matter what you do? It seems like you understand everything. He was stunned for a moment. I'm actually a little embarrassed. Saying with a smile, how could that be? It's all mistakes that lead to these outcomes. At that moment, I suddenly realized a 45-year-old man can also feel nervous. Since then, I began to get closer to him, either on purpose or not. Ordering afternoon tea for the department every time. I'll always give him an extra piece of low-sugar bread as well. He coughed during the meeting. I'll put warm water beside his hand in advance. I won't leave until he finishes working overtime. Even though I've already finished my work, I'd also sit outside with my computer in my arms, saying they still have data to verify. Once, he had a stomachache. I ran down to the pharmacy downstairs, bought stomach medicine and a bowl of millet porridge. He was on the phone when he came back. From the tone of voice, it seems like the wife is urging him to come home. After hanging up the phone, he saw the porridge on the table. Who bought it? I noticed that you don't look well. No matter how important work is, you also need to take care of your health first. He stared at me for a long time. In the end, she only said one word, thank you. Truly crossing the line. It was during a departmental team-building activity. The company booked a homestay in the suburbs. In the evening, everyone grills, drinks, and plays games together. I deliberately sat next to Sun Jiguo. Others toasted him with drinks. I'll take his place and block for him. It's said that President Sun has a weak stomach. Later, everyone started teasing each other by playing truth or dare. The question I got was, is there anyone there you like? I glanced at him while holding my glass of wine. Said with a smile, yes, I do. Everyone around is laughing. No one takes it to heart. Only Sun Jiguo's ears turned red all of a sudden. After the show ended that night, he sat alone in the yard trying to sober up. I walked over with the mineral water in my hand. Sitting next to him, he took a sip, put the bottle on the table. I didn't say anything. Picked it up and drank from the same bottle mouth. I noticed his hand stiffen slightly. After a long time, he whispered the question to me quietly. Are you drunk? I said I'm not drunk. He doesn't look at me, just staring at the light in the yard. I'll get a little closer. Tell him, President Sun, I really admire you. You're mature and steady. I can handle anything. Being with you makes me feel extremely at ease. He said I'm 20 years older than you. I said age isn't important anyway. He said I have a family. I smiled. I just like you. I don't ask for much either. Now that I think about it. That sentence is the most vicious of all. I clearly asked for everything. But they insist on pretending they don't want anything at all. Everything that happened later wasn't romantic at all. No flowers. There was no official confession either. Only the dim lights in the hotel hallway. He stopped several times to ask if I would regret it. I shake my head every time. The next morning, he sat by the bed and smoked for a long time. Finally, let's talk about Jingjing. I'll be responsible for you. I'm leaning against the pillow. What I really think is that getting a permanent position should be a sure thing now. Since then, we started a relationship that no one could ever know about. He bought me a bag. Give me my phone. Transfer money to my card during holidays. I said the dormitory is too noisy. He rented a one-bedroom apartment for me near the company. At work, he helps me correct the data page by page. The day the official employment list was released, I'm one of the 2 people who stayed. A colleague invited me to dinner. Parents said happily on the phone about Jingjing. You finally made it through. Work hard from now on. Don't let the leader down. I'm holding my phone. Suddenly, I feel like crying. It's not because I'm happy. It's because I know. The so-called enduring through hardships. It's just that I took one path. A shortcut that no one else knows about. After receiving the official employee ID, I started to keep my distance from Sun Jiguo. He invited me to dinner. I said I need to work overtime. He came to the apartment. I said my colleague is there. He transferred money to me. I'll take it back. He touched my hand. I'll also instinctively avoid it. At first, he thought I was just under a lot of stress. Later, he finally asked, do I no longer need to be here once I become a regular employee? He said something important to me. Instead, they became furious with embarrassment. Don't think of me as being so practical. He looked at me. Your eyes look tired. Then tell me, what exactly are you afraid of? I can't say it. I can't just tell him. What I'm afraid of isn't others finding out. Instead, he became more and more serious. What really scares me is, it was after he started talking to me that he said his daughter's college entrance exam is coming up soon. Wait until the child goes to college. He confronted his wife about it. He said he and his wife had no feelings for each other anymore. Only responsibilities remain. He even started looking at houses near the company. Say, you can get me a bigger one later. I always interrupt him and tell him to stop talking. I didn't think that far ahead. But he thought I was waiting for a formal relationship. One night, he suddenly called me, speaking in a trembling voice, quietly. I filed for divorce. I sat up from the bed in one motion. Are you crazy?
He said I had figured it out.
I can't say I love you while doing something else at the same time. While making you keep hiding the whole time. I lost my temper with him for the first time. Who told you to get a divorce? I've never forced you to do anything. There was long silence on the other end of the line. Didn't you say you didn't want to be seen in public forever? I really did say that. But that was only once. He went home temporarily to celebrate his daughter's birthday with her. Leave me alone in the restaurant. I did it to make him feel guilty. Randomly set words. I didn't expect him to take it seriously. The divorce proceedings lasted for over 2 months. His wife found our chat records. He's been to the company to see him. He didn't act up that day. They didn't hit me either. Just standing in the company lobby. With red eyes, she asked him about the year 22. Can't even compete with a girl I've known for half a year. Sun Jiguo kept his head down. Didn't say a word. I only found out later. In order to get divorced as soon as possible.
He left all the money saved up for the house to his wife.
He also continued to cover his daughter's college expenses. He took with him almost nothing but clothes. And an old car that's been around for 8 years. The day the divorce procedures were completed, he came to my apartment with his suitcase in hand. He's lost a lot of weight. The shirt is empty inside. Holding the divorce certificate and a newly bought ring in my hands, he's referring to Jingjing. I've taken care of it completely. No need to hide anymore. I'm standing at the door. They don't even dare to let him in. He smiled reluctantly. I know the conditions aren't great right now, but I still have work to do. We can rent a place first. I'll buy a smaller one in 2 years. Don't you like having a balcony? I watched him. Suddenly, it all seemed utterly absurd. What I really want is just one regular position. But he brought his entire life to my doorstep. I finally told the truth, Sun Jiguo. I'm getting closer to you. It's because I'm afraid I won't be able to get a permanent position. His smile froze instantly. I keep saying that I just want you to help me stay. He stared at me. The lips moved several times before asking about those 6 months. Have you never liked me at all? I said I was dependent. There have also been moments of touching emotion. But that isn't love. He lowered his head, looking at the ring in my hand. After a long time, he said I divorced for you. You're talking to me now. You're just using me. That was the first time I didn't dare to look at him. He didn't scold me. They didn't hit me either. Just placed the ring on the shoe cabinet by the door. Left with the suitcase in hand. That night, he kept sitting by the flower bed downstairs. I watched it many times through the curtains. But it never went down at all. Later, Sun Jiguo seemed to completely collapse. He was distracted during the meeting. Reports keep failing to generate. Also included is a quote that hasn't been finalized yet. Sent to the customer. Almost caused losses to the company. What's more troublesome is, our relationship also started to spread around the department. During the company's investigation, he took on all the responsibilities alone. He said that the evaluation is done collectively during the performance review period. My grades meet the standards. He said that it was his own initiative to pursue those personal relationships. It has nothing to do with the company's decisions. He said he had mismanaged things. Willing to accept the handling. Later, he was transferred to a branch office. I was also persuaded to quit. I suddenly found it ridiculous. The promotion I worked so hard to get. What's the point of it anyway? The employee ID card that I wanted so much by the halfway point of the year. Finally, I picked it off myself and placed it back on the HR desk. When leaving the company, it's raining outside. I stood at the door, dragging a cardboard box with me. Inside are a water bottle and a notebook. And also the phone that Sun Jiguo gave me. Colleagues who once greeted me with smiles. One by one they passed by me. No one stopped. That apartment, I also refunded it quickly. After the rent prepaid by Sun Jiguo expired, I simply can't afford to renew it. The bags and jewelry he gave me, I'll sell it on a second-hand platform. Used to pay rent and credit card bills. Later, I went back to my hometown. Got to know Zhou Cheng. At 30, I work at a local bank. Honest by nature. She's steady in both speech and actions. He doesn't know my past. The first time we met, he asked me why I came back from the big city. I said the work pressure is too high. Want to be closer to my parents. 1 week before the engagement, Zhou Cheng suddenly asked me out. Let's go to the restaurant where we first met. He said I heard some things about you. Do you know Sun Jiguo? Hearing these words, my heart skipped a beat. He looked at me. The eyes are very red. The next day, his family came over. After the divorce, my mother sat in the living room crying. Father smoked one cigarette after another. The relatives also found out quite quickly. The county town isn't very big. Those things I most want to hide. In the end, it still spread everywhere. I'm not blaming Zhou Cheng. There's no reason at all to blame the person who sent him the photo. I know this is just retribution.